Hi, I'm Laura Rose.
I'm Abby, and this is Beyond the Home Study.
We are two adopted moms navigating the real-life journey beyond paperwork and placement.
Thanks for being here. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beyond the Home Study podcast. This is where we have real conversations with foster and adoptive parents. Well, take a deep breath, everyone. Yes, go ahead.
Well, you guys, we are back with some bittersweet news that this is our final episode. Which just make me nervous. It's weird to be I'm we've been doing this for so long, and I'm oh my gosh, I'm nervous because it's our last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Abby and I started this podcast forever ago. It's been almost exactly a year and a half ago. And it's kind of come full circle. Abby was just getting ready to adopt pick up the girls. They were just being born. We were kind of waiting. Then they were born. And then literally this weekend they were adopted officially, which is crazy that it took that long. And yay, congrats.
Yes.
But it's kind of come full circle that's where we are now, which gives me all the feelings. I have all the feels.
Know.
So yeah, we've had a great time. We've lived, laughed, and loved. But I did not rehearse that one. But we've decided it's come to an end.
Yeah. This journey has been it really it's really bittersweet to talk about because there are so many full circle moments thinking about when we even started talking in the fall that we found out about the girls. We had just met their birth mom. We met her virtually, and you and I had just started talking about what does a podcast even look like, and do you want to do it with me? And I was yeah, I would love to do that. And then getting it kind of figured out. We literally knew nothing. Neither of us knew one single thing about doing a podcast. You didn't even really listen to podcasts at the time. And I was okay, so we need this and this and this from just my experience listening. I had no experience in actually putting one together. And I think we had recorded maybe a couple of episodes before we went to California, and then we recorded some while I was living out there, waiting to bring the girls home. Yeah, it's a crazy time. There's definitely a lot of the last 18 months that I look back on that are a little hazy because newborn life and twins and all the things. But yeah.
It's kind of crazy that you even did a podcast with newborn.
I know. I was thinking about this though, and I saw somebody else talking about this where when you have a newborn, obviously you're full on, you've got to be attentive, morning, noon, and night, round the clock, all the things. But caring for a newborn is actually very simple. They need 3 things. You do those things, you carry on. And obviously everybody has different experiences, and you can have health challenges and all the things that can happen. But I think as they're getting older, it's getting to the point of whoa, this is I need even more of my attention and my energy.
Yeah.
Even though I sleep through the night now, I have even more attention and energy that needs to be poured into them because they're not newborns who will just sleep wherever they sleep anymore.
Yeah, that's totally true. The age thing is such a factor.
Yeah.
Well,
so, anyways,
you guys, there's no I feel like people are gonna ask but why? What's your reason? And to be honest, Abby and I don't have this miraculous, amazing, cool reason. We kind of were both just I think it's time.
yeah,
it's time to see where our horizons take us. And so I don't have any good closure for you all. I probably don't have good closure for myself, but
maybe it will come in time.
Yes. But we did think that today, the last episode 30 of season 2, we would kind of just reflect on the past, some things that we made us laugh and cry and some of our favorite things. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's think through like I guess we talked a little bit already about kind of how we got here. Um, but I don't know if we've ever really even shared that story of like where did the idea of a podcast even come from for you? Because it was your idea first. Where did it come from for you? And if you don't remember some of the details, I'll fill them in.
Well, okay. So first of all, I do remember where I was, which is also kind of funny when we had this conversation.
Hmm.
I was in the car at the wherever you go to get LJ's new social security card.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know if you even knew that. So
I didn't know that.
she had just been adopted officially. Ours also took a long time, and then we had to go get her a new social security card, and you had to like make an appointment. And so I had a babysitter, and I was like going to this appointment to like get her new card. And I think I was like getting in the car on the way back, and I had called you or like asked you if I could talk to you at this time or whatever because at the time I was trying to get some like market research for my business, Connected Littles Company. And then I think you said something about like, you should have a podcast. I've always wanted to do a podcast. I think that's
Huh.
actually where it started.
Oh, okay. I remember you asking, like, how do you like, as a mom, like, how do you like to receive information? Do you look for books? Do you look for articles? Do you want coaching? Like, what do you like? And I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, well, I consume a lot of podcasts and I do have a couple that are like, I probably had just listened to like a parenting one, that morning or whatever. And I was like, I actually think if I was like looking for expert advice about parenting and especially parenting an adopted child, I think I would go to a podcast. And so, yeah, I probably said something like, yeah, you should do that. Like, I'm sure it'd be so fun. And then I think it was later in the day that you said like, "Hey, could we like I think I was running in to go pick Judah up from school." So I was like, "All right, I only have like 20 minutes." And then you text and were like, "Hey, could we talk more later today?" And so I remember I was driving somewhere else. I don't know where I was going, but I was in the car. I was like, "Yeah, let's talk more." So,
Yes, I do remember that. You're right. Yeah. And at the time, I was so craving like some form of a business partner. Like I was
yeah.
doing like this online work in my home by myself. And man, it's like so crazy to reflect back on that time. And it was so, so helpful to like have you, even though you weren't part of that business, but like just like having you in my same like realm to like talk through things. And yeah, it was just really helpful.
Yeah. And it was fun too. Like, even though I wasn't necessarily part of Connected Little's company, I still got to like see what you were doing and what you were putting together and like see things before you put them out into the world and stuff. So I think that was still a really cool part of this journey that I kind of forgot about until right now.
Same. I know. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah. I think when we started like even thinking through it, I saw myself as, like, kind of just the mom. Like, that's how I would see myself, especially, like, some of the episodes that we were doing at first. I was like, you come in, like, you're the expert, and I'll be, like, just the mom who's, like, asking you questions about, what does attachment look like, and what should I be trying, what should I be doing at this age, and, like, which were already questions, like, in real life I had asked you before. So, it was kind of like, "Okay, let's just do this in a podcast form." And it was really cool because there was so much that I didn't know about even just thinking through trauma. And like you all have heard me talk about, like, there's things I admitted that I had no idea about before we even started having these conversations. And like, just like, what does it look like to parent a adopted child? And how does that look different from parenting a biological child or, all the different things. And so that was kind of a cool part for me, I think, of like, I realized, oh, I'm not like just the mom. Like, I am learning a lot of these things. And then I'm able to kind of regurgitate them in a different way that hopefully is applicable to everybody else.
Well, you were never just the mom. That's crazy. It also is crazy how much, like, as you're talking, like, that I'm thinking how much our podcast has morphed because
So
we
much.
did set you up that way in the beginning, even though, like, I don't see you as just the mom, but, like, yeah, like, that was kind of the format. And then, like, it's just morphed, like, so
Yeah.
much over the past year and a half. Like, it's kind of crazy how that just, like, naturally happened.
Yeah, so we had kind of at the beginning, like very specific episodes about like very specific things having to do with adopted and, kids in foster care. And then we kind of moved into like, oh, we should talk to other people. And I think we at the beginning had even said like, it'd be so cool to interview like, an adoptive mom and a foster mom and a, birth mom and like all the different people. And so we had kind of talked about that and then we started doing it and we were like, oh, wow, there's so much that we can
Yeah.
learn and so much we can glean from these people. And then I think we had even said at one point, like, maybe we like only do interviews. Like we just bring
Mhm.
people on and like prompt them with questions and just let it be like a birth stories, but like a foster and adoptive parent stories. And that's all, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like morphed that way. And then it kind of came back. And then it kind of went again. Like we've kind of like gone back and forth with that, which is
And
really
then
cool.
one day we were like, "We don't have anything to talk about. Let's just chat."
Yeah. And we were like, oh, these are really fun. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I
man.
know it's crazy. And you said something like about learning, and I'm like, I definitely did not go into this podcast thinking I would learn something
Mm.
other than like how to do a podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I thought, "Oh, yeah, I'll learn, like, how to interview people or I'll learn how to be a better podcast host," whatever, but I had no idea that, like, I would learn from our guests, from the research that we've done for these episodes, like, that was not even, like, a category for me, and
Yeah.
yet I learned so much.
No, I mean, that wasn't even for me because I'm thinking like, okay, we've now adopted or like in the process of adopting 3 kids. Like, I'm not planning to grow my family anymore. I'm not thinking that like I need to learn from someone, like what their process was like so I can make mine better. Like, there was none of that. And like all throughout, I just, yeah, learned so much, saw from so many different perspectives. I think getting to talk to birth moms and like adoptees and like some of these are like really niche, like specific stories that obviously are not applicable to everyone because they're all so different. But getting to learn from them and hear their stories was like, I felt so honored and just learned so much from their perspectives. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I mean, I can't tell you how many times I, like, got off of an episode, usually, like, after an interview, and would,
Mm-hmm.
like, have to really consider something about our life, like, "Are we doing this well?" Or "Should we do this differently?" And
Yeah.
yeah, which is just kind of, like, a little mind-boggling to me, like, I really didn't think that that would happen, and it's the, like, it's been my favorite thing, like, about doing this podcast is how much I've learned.
Oh, so cool. So cool. Okay, so we did talk a little bit about kind of like what surprised us in this process. Um, what do you think it's taught you? Like, what do you think you've learned about yourself through this process?
Ooh, that's a good question. What have I learned about myself? Um, okay, this is odd to say. I feel like someone may not understand where this is coming from, but like I have learned how to be more confident in like in like not knowing.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I think I have always thought confidence is, like, comes from, like, I have the answers. I am confident because I know that 2 plus 2 is 4, and I feel confident saying, "I don't know," and I feel confident in sharing, like, "This is what I think," while still feeling like, "And that may change."
Yeah.
And that's very different than, like, who I was before the podcast.
I think even just in the way we started this, I remember having a conversation. I think I was sitting maybe at like a Starbucks or something. in between drop off and pick up from school. And we had a conversation about like how we were perfectionists and we wanted to know like A to Z, like we want to know the whole plan before we start something. And we both kind of acknowledge like as we start this podcast, we don't know. Like we have maybe like this little part of the roadmap mapped out to the best of our ability, but like we really don't know past this point what this will turn
Mm-hmm.
into. And I think even that was a big step for both of us to be able to be like, we're walking forward and we're confidently moving, even though we don't really know what's over there.
Just hit play. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going to come out, but just hit play.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny is I think some of our best episodes are ones that we had the least amount of prep.
Oh, I mean, there's episodes that we prepped for that never
We're
came out.
awful.
Or just like we never did because we were like, we prepped and then we sat down and we're like, scratch it. Like, we're not doing that. We don't want to do that today. So, yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that we have archived episodes.
I know. Or even like, yeah, there's so many different things. And there still are, I thought about this, like, if we were to continue, like, what would I want the next, like, what are the episodes that we didn't do that I wanted to do at some point? And I still
Yeah.
have, like, kind of this hot list of ideas of things that, not for lack of trying. I mean, we definitely tried to make some of these happen, but I'm like, there still is a lot. Like, obviously, we didn't cover everything, but there are still some things. Like, I still would have loved to interview a lawyer, like an adoption attorney of some sort.
I know.
Some
And
or a
remember we
judge.
almost interviewed a judge?
Yeah, or a judge.
Yeah.
Those
You
were
guys, we
two.
almost got a judge.
So close. So close.
I know. I have a laundry list too. And you know
Yeah.
what? Okay, Greg always says this. He always says, you know, it's a good vacation when you are on your way home from vacation and say, I could have done one more day.
Yeah.
Because he's like, if you're
That's
at the end
good.
of a vacation and you're like, yep, I'm ready to go home, then you like, no, like you're not really ending on a positive. Like you kind of went too long. He's like, a
Yeah.
great vacation is one where you could say, I could do one more day. And I feel like that's where we are.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like we're ending and like part of me is like, oh, I could do another episode.
Uh-huh.
You know?
I know. It's true. That's a good thing. It is a really good thing. Yeah, I think it's just that whole idea of like even good things come to an end. Like even your vacation comes to an end.
Yeah.
Even if you do it even if you have that one extra day or you stay an extra half day and you drive through the night, whatever, like you still, yeah, there's still an end, sadly.
Yeah, all good things come to an end.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is so true.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that like going back to kind of like what has surprised me, but also what I have loved about this whole project, I guess you could call it, is working together. Like I think we've talked about it before, but like there's so many different things. There's so many ways like we complement each other because we're very different. And I actually thought that is something that kind of surprised me. I thought that we would be more different in some ways. And I don't know how much we've talked about that, but like I don't know. There's just I can even like tell you like a specific thing, but there are some things that I was like, oh, I wonder if like these things will come up because I feel like we would go in two different directions versus like
and then we really did it.
And then we really didn't. Like we kind of, whether we brought each other to the middle or like we weren't really that different than what we thought. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it was, but that surprised me. But yeah, it's just been so good to get to do this together. I wouldn't have wanted to do it by myself.
Yeah, same. And like, we complement each other. And I think that like people think like, oh, two people on a podcast, like they're probably like best friends or sisters or like something. And I think it's been really cool to do a podcast with you. Like one, we're not even in the same state. Like we don't hang out regularly. Like we don't live in the same state. And like I almost like it better because I think like had you lived here and then we like met regularly and like I don't know, there's a little part of me that feels like the dynamic was almost better because we didn't know every single thing that was happening in each other's life all the time,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it makes for
you
much better
know?
conversations. Because if it was like we were just saying, "Well, you know how yesterday I was telling you about blah, 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 blah," then, like, who
Mm.
cares? You know? Like, I don't know. It's, like, not the same kind of you don't get, like, the same reactions, I guess, if you were if you were to
Yeah,
tell
that's
me
probably yeah,
things
that maybe that's
before.
what it is.
Something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Speaking of not being in the same states,
yeah.
how many states have we recorded in?
Oh, that's kind of a fun little stat. Okay, let me hold on,
Because we have
let me think, like, ballpark.
because it's Kentucky,
Uh-huh,
Ohio,
uh-huh,
California,
uh-huh.
Florida,
Yep.
and then
Did I
did you do
record in
another
North
one on
Carolina?
vacation?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
So 5?
No,
Is
that's
that
4.
5? Oh, that's 4. I was thinking you were meaning, like, guests, like, how many guests we've had, like, how many different states have we
Gosh,
which
I
is
don't
a
even know. That would
that
have
would
been a
be a
good
lot.
statistic, but that's I don't no idea.
That'd be a lot, probably, like, at least 15.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about us, like us, but
Yeah,
you're right. Like, oh man, that would have been a really good because,
I
like,
know.
gosh, all over,
All over the place. Every
all
time
over.
zone, I think, in the US,
Yeah, definitely
and
every time zone in the US.
that's really cool. Oh, how
Yeah.
fun. 4 different states, that's wild.
And episodes, you guys, it's
Mhm.
what did we say? 63?
67.
67?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the 67th episode total. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. I know,
How
when
many
I
hours is that?
a lot more than 67.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know, a lot. Actually, I was pretty surprised when I looked, so our first season was, what did we say, 36, right?
36.
And then this one is 30 well, it'll be
This is our
31.
30 well, no, this is our 30th episode this season, but we had that one bonus episode in the first
Oh,
season.
that's right.
So
So
technically it was 37 in the first season.
but even that, I was like, "Whoa, we've already done 30 episodes in this season?
I know
That's
it's
cra
August.
that's crazy,
Yeah.
crazy." Because
Which
we didn't start until well, we had started recording, like, in January of 2025, but we didn't release it until April, I think.
we recorded that far
March
ahead?
or April. I think we had, like, one at the very end of January, and then I left 2 weeks later for the girls, like,
Oh, that's right.
mid-February. So or maybe we had just, like, done the kinda brand work and stuff. I don't
Man,
know.
it's so
It's
crazy.
crazy.
You know what I love? Like, I used to think, like, when I closed Connected Littles, like, it was so hard, and I remember just being like, "I'm a quitter," like, that's
Mm.
how I felt about it for a long
Yeah.
time, and then I did it, and even now, I'm like, I have learned so much from that business, like, so many skills, so many things. I'm like, I have built, like, 4 websites in my life. Like, that's crazy. I am not I know nothing about well, I would normally, I'm like, I know nothing about that kind of but I'm like, no, I've built so many websites.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the next few weeks, like, that's gonna come out with the podcast. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like, all these things, like yeah, like,
You
I
had
don't know,
never
like
edited video before. You had
yeah,
never interviewed, like, people week after week. I mean, there's
no.
so many different skills. Yeah. So cool.
Or,
It's
like,
so
I
cool.
was trying to tell so I can't even remember the story, but I think my sister said something about a podcast or Greg did or something, and I was like, "Oh, no, that's not how it works because they have to do this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's wild that I even know that." Like, I don't even listen to podcasts. I still don't listen to very many podcasts.
I know, it's so funny. I'm, like, super critical. It's just, like it's so bad when you've been on both sides, but I'm, like, super critical of audio quality. Like, if I start a new podcast, like, someone tells me about it or whatever, I turn it on and I start listening to it, and, like, if it sounds bad, like, I don't even care what they're talking about. If it sounds bad, I'm like, "Meh, nope, I can't
That
continue.
Greg is the same way.
Can't continue. Just can't
And
do
he
it."
about died that our first interview when we had 2 people on one mic. He was like, "Laura, I don't know if I can listen to this."
I don't blame him. I go back to that one and I'm like, "This is bad." we can't do this. But that episode still did really well.
I
So
know. Actually, speaking
oh,
of how well our episode did, I have to look this up, or I have it up because I couldn't remember it.
yeah,
I think this is accurate. I'm looking at our like analytics thing, and I think this is for all time. We have 4,496 plays and downloads.
that's so cool.
That's crazy to
Yeah.
think that like that many times someone has listened to my voice.
Yeah. And it wasn't all us and our families.
My husband hasn't even caught up yet.
I
He's like
know.
just made it to season 2. I'm like, oh, you're real behind.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you everyone for listening. If you're listening to this and you've made it this far into this episode, I'm sure that you have listened to many of the others, and we wouldn't have been here this long without you.
We
So,
really wouldn't. And I always hate
yeah.
it when people say that, like influencers or whatever, like, I couldn't do this without you. It feels like so stupid when they say it. And now I'm like, no, like, really? Like, I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times, like, you and I were in like a dip and like a guest or a friend texted or someone that I had never even met before said, oh, I listened to you and like and then gave some sort of encouragement about how you know it's really helpful for them on their journey or they are considering adoption now or they didn't know
Yeah.
this and now they're doing things different and I think that's probably like one of the top if not the top reasons that made like this so hard
Mhm.
like this decision to be done is because like there's a little piece of me that almost feels like responsible. I mean, in my EMDR, we would say, I can accept appropriate responsibility. That's my cognition that I'm supposed to tell myself, or I can recognize appropriate responsibility. I am not responsible. But there's this little piece of me that does
Yeah.
feel responsible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like we've seen and heard from people who've listened firsthand, like what has impacted them. And then even just in guests, like we've had a number of guests who have never shared their story until they
Mhm.
came on the podcast and they were processing huge parts of their lives as they're on a recording. Like that's wild. And that is such an honor to be able to help like yeah, prompt some of those questions or like prompt some of those thoughts and ideas that are already like they were already in there. These people have lived these stories, but they've never put it into a place where someone else could hear it and then benefit from it. So that's a really like yeah, it's weighty. Like you feel I think there is like an appropriate level of like responsibility and weight to that because I can think of one guest that specifically who was like, I've never said this before. And they shared it. And it was like, wow, that's amazing that you trusted us and our listeners with your story. That's awesome.
Okay, so speaking of that, is there like one particular guest that stands out or one particular story that like you're going to be like I'm going to carry this one with me?
I think that getting to talk to, and it's multiple people, but kind of the same sentiment, multiple adoptees who are now adults who their stories varied, from what brought them into adoption in the first place, but getting to hear their stories and think about my kids in their position one day as an adult who may adopt children, may not, whatever their life, however their life may lead. Um, but getting to like think about my kids as adults and like what will their story, how will they remember their story? What will they take with them from their childhood? All those different things. Those like really got me.
Yeah, I agree. It's not just one, it's like a collective few.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm so appreciative of all of our guests and like all of the stories.
Mhm.
Honestly, like I will remember them all. But I do think the ones that came from a different perspective that weren't the parent of, that was adopting, but like either they were on the other side because they were a birth mom or they were an adoptee themselves. And I think like that really just points to like, you hear it. It's kind of like in the media now, like we need to be hearing from the people themselves. We need to be hearing from the people themselves. But I think that's so true. And partly because it's like if you've met like one adoptee, you've met one adoptee. Like,
Right.
not like there is no one person that is the spokesperson for all people. And that could be said for any group of people.
Yeah.
And I think that like it's so important to hear from so many different people because we have heard so many different perspectives. Like I'm thinking like in the of the adoptees that we have interviewed, there have been wildly different stories, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. Like that, I think just from a personal standpoint, that was so, so helpful.
Yeah.
And I think probably just because same with you, like I'm not in a position where I'm going to, you know, where our home is closed right now, so
Mhm.
I'm not thinking about the process and things like that, but yeah.
I will say though, there were a couple of different conversations. Again, it's like bits and pieces of multiple stories. And I think even you and I usually like we'll debrief, like especially after an interview, we'll kind of hang up, stand up, take a deep breath, and call each other and be like, okay, so how do you think it went? We'll talk about it. And I think there was at least one conversation, there might have been a couple, where we ended and we just said like, how cool is it that we can now see like we knew not every family needed to look a certain way, of course. Like that's how we got here. Like we can't like cookie cutter our families into this like perfect mold. That's not how this has gone for any of us. And it doesn't go that way really for anybody. But there are so many different ways your family can look, whether it's you're adopting or fostering older children. When your kids are out of the house or when your kids are doing other things, you've got littles in your house again. Like there's so many different ways to welcome in foster kids through respite, through short-term place, like all, I mean, the list goes
CASA
on.
worker
A CASA worker, being able to go in and sit in a courtroom day in, day
and be an
out, go
advocate,
take this kid
like
to lunch, do these different things, like on and on and on. There's so many different things that I think that is another way, like, I was just super impacted by that of thinking there's so many different ways that this could look one day. And this is how my family looks today. And I'm thankful for that. I have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring. And that was just such a cool encouragement and good perspective.
yeah, no, I agree. It's like yeah, because even like our parents, like our adoptive parents that have come on, like their families looked so different. Some had one, some were in foster care, some had more than one. Like biological mixed in. Like there were so many different really, it just reminds me how much I love people. I'm like,
I
I
know.
love people. Like, I just love
Yeah.
people. And I love that like these people have shared with us. Like that's so
Yeah.
vulnerable.
It
Like
is.
we've asked some hard questions and we've like I've, pushed before. Abby doesn't usually do that. That's usually me. um but yeah, like and I'm just so grateful for like all these stories and all these things. But I do think that this kind of points us to something that we want to encourage you guys as listeners is that this conversation is not done. Like this isn't like, oh, beyond the home study, like you've learned all that you need to, like wash your hands of it, you're done. No, like we encourage you continue finding these stories yourself. Like keep these conversations going because this is what it takes for us to care for this community, even if you're not an adoptive parent yourself.
Yeah, find ways to connect. If you are an adoptive parent, find ways to connect with others. Like, that's honestly something I still feel very challenged to do more and more. That, like, I just, I love like the play groups and different things that I get to do. And I'm not around a lot of other adoptive parents or foster parents. And so, yeah, just like knowing that I want to keep pressing into that. I want to keep like looking and seeking and finding that. Um, but then also, yeah, if you're not an adoptive parent, just finding ways to love and care for those in your midst, wherever you are, who have a new foster placement that, they need diapers and they need some meals and they need some support and all. I mean, there's so many of our guests have talked about the things that have helped them along the way. And yeah, just finding like what those really simple, tangible things can be are super helpful.
Yeah. So guys, I think we are gonna call it a close. This is our last hurrah, and it is a hurrah because uh, it should be celebrated. Like
Yeah.
I am proud of what we've done here, and I am just so thrilled to have been able to go on this journey with you, Abby, and just with our listeners. We love hearing encouragement for you guys, or from you guys. So, yeah, keep doing the good work.
Yep. The last hurrah for now.
Last hurrah. So, if anything we've said today has made you laugh, cry, or feel seen, please share this last episode with a friend. All right, guys, good night. If anything we said today made you laugh, cry, or feel seen, send this episode to another adopted mom who needs it. And don't forget to follow us at Beyond the Home Study on Instagram.
If you've ever found yourself exhausted, overwhelmed, and wondering, why didn't anyone tell me this part of adoption? Don't worry, you're home now.